before the arenas, before the awards.
This is b4Nashville Live. Have a question for our guest? Send it to us via Messenger.
Here's your host, George Davis.
Welcome back to another edition of b4Nashville, where we introduce the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. And as always, being brought to you by Go-Go Tuners. They are the go-to tuners for professional and amateur musicians alike. You want to find out more? GoGoTuners.com. That's your hookup. Tonight, I got a guy joining me who he grew up on Southern rock, R&B, and a host of other genres. And he is now trying to make his way in Nashville. And I just learned a little something about him today that we'll talk about here in a minute that I thought was super cool. And his name is JC Kurtis. JC, welcome to b4Nashville.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I'm blessed. I'm so excited.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So you grew up in a musical home. I mean, tell me a little bit about that. Like, what was the background, and things like that?
It was mostly Southern rock. My favorite group of all time is Alabama, all time. My father was in a band out here locally where we're at, in Reading, Pennsylvania, and it was called the Montana Band back in '84. And I mean, he had the voice. I mean, wherever we went, he was like a local celebrity. And wherever we went, I mean, he was recognized. And I knew I always wanted to do that. I just didn't know how to actually get into it.
Right.
He taught me how to play the guitar. He taught me how to sing. He still actually teaches me how to sing. I do vocal lessons with him 2 to 3 times a week.
Okay.
And we grew up listening to like Three Dog Night, 38 Special, Skinnerd. Oh God, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Like the Allman Brothers.
Allman Brothers, the Marshall Tucker Band.
Marshall Tucker, yeah.
Oh, I love the Marshall Tucker Band.
Yeah.
Randy Travis, George Strait. I mean, it was a continuous flow of country. I did have one phase where I was all about rap music, but thank God that stopped real quick for me.
Yeah, there comes a point in our lives where we go, no.
No, exactly. The drooping of the pants and everything. No. It doesn't work for me.
Right.
But
I've always said if I ever own a radio station, I want the call letters to be KRAP. And have it be a rap station, and it's all crap all the time.
Oh man, I don't think that would fly nowadays, but that totally would have flew back in the '90s and the '80s and the '90s.
It would be a very probably bullet-riddled building.
Oh my God, yeah.
A lot of bricks, a lot of bottles, a lot of stuff being thrown at it. So probably.
But hey, it would never be a dull moment.
This is true. This is true. A lot of good on-air material for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So tell me about, you're growing up, your dad's kind of a local celebrity, and I'm sure that kind of got you used to the limelight a little early.
Yeah, I used to sing with him, out in public and stuff. In 86, he pulled me up on stage, and, that's when he basically introduced me to the world, and it's at the Allentown State Fair, and they were opening for Alabama, and that's when I got my first glimpse of what it's like to be on stage, and ever since then I've just been crazy about performing. I mean, I'm an actor, doing theater, but music has always had my heart, always.
Right.
Like that's where I'm at. That's where I should have been 10 years ago. But I mean, life throws you some crazy turns, and you just gotta maneuver around them, and I'm so glad I'm 100% pursuing music now. Like I am 100% happy with my life. My wife, my family, all my friends, they all support me. So it's been an amazing journey so far.
That's super cool. Now, the first time that your dad brought you up on stage, was there a little bit of nerves, or were you pretty much used to knowing what to expect, I guess?
I was actually a baby when he brought me up on stage.
Oh, okay.
And he told me all about it, obviously after that. because after that, the band had disbanded, and
Okay.
that was it. My dad was told that they wanted him to go, completely solo, and he wouldn't do that to his band because my father's a very honorable man, and
Mhm.
if I'm half the man he is at my age or his age, then life was definitely worth it.
All right. Well, cool. We got a lot of people chiming in here. My,
Well, that's good.
I got to tell you, this is funny. My daughter gets on here and she goes, "I think we need to hear him rap."
Oh no, no.
No, Dee Dee.
Hmm. It's funny. I actually, oh my God, I did write a rap when I was a kid. I had a whole Eminem phase and everything, and oh, it was so bad.
Well, I warn you
Um,
now, I cannot beatbox, so don't expect me to back you up.
no, we're gonna forego that. Maybe I'll do it on a live or something like that, but
There you
not right now. But tell her I'm sorry and I apologize.
She's something else. She's her daddy's daughter. Is all I can say.
That's
Um.
awesome. That's what we want to have. I want to have a daughter so I can
Oh,
just protect her until I can't
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Well, I can't say anything because she's on here.
How old is she?
She is 20. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm
Oh
really going to get
no.
myself in trouble. She
She's
is
in her
20.
20s.
She's in her 20s.
We'll just
Yes,
leave it at
yes.
that.
She's in her mid 20s. Her younger sister's 21. Her older brother is, and this is where I always get myself into trouble because I see the oldest one is 35. So Dylan is okay. She's 27.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I act like I knew that, but she told me. I'm not
That's
gonna
super
lie.
cool. I
I can't
love
take
that
the
they
credit.
they listen to your stuff, man. That's awesome. That's just,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure that gives you a warm and fuzzy that your kids tune in and everything, and that's awesome.
it really does. It does. So when you were going through like high school and college, did you do the typical garage band thing that every teenage boy from basically the inception of instruments and singing has done?
No, I actually, believe it or not, I picked up a guitar 2 years ago, and
Wow.
I trained like I said, my dad taught me some things and everything, but I pretty much just went with it. I mean, I put in hours and hours of playing time, and when I was younger, I was in the chorus. I was the lead soloist in the chorus. The only instrument I played back then was called a recorder. If they
Yeah.
still use those nowadays. Um, and I was actually really cool with that thing. I had my little red carrier with it was all kept inside.
Right.
Melissa's, I actually had a solo performance. I can't remember the name of it. Was called Salsa Pie, actually. Yeah, that's what it was. And I
Hmm.
was more of I sung in the choir. I sang for Christmas and everything like that for my family. And I just, like I said, music has always just resonated inside of me.
That is so cool because that's something that it's once you get the music in, it's always hard to get rid of it. I mean, you can't. It's
Oh
always
yeah,
always
there's
there.
there's a different song for. I mean, I swear on my life, there's a different song for every mood there actually is ever. Honestly, and I just when I'm feeling it, I'll throw on some old school music,
Mhm.
or whatever I want to listen to at the time. If I want to have a good time, I'll throw on some George Strait. If I'm having like a sad, somber moment, I'll throw on some Brantley Gilbert. You know what I mean? It's just how I'm feeling at that point in time. Brantley
I
Gilbert's music actually got me through my first divorce,
Oh, okay. The
and
reason I laugh at that is I know Brantley and I know his music, and I'm going, I guess he does have some sad, somber songs, but most of them aren't.
well, I'm talking about the ones
I
where he's
guess
like
it's
throwing
song.
up with like the first time I heard a modern day prodigal son.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
cried my eyes out because I was that rebellious kid who didn't care about anybody else but himself. And, I drank and I just partied after high school, and I didn't really have a direction in my life. And, listening to his music, it really spoke to me. And he's one of the main reasons why I picked up a guitar.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's incredible. I love his music and his lyrics.
He's a great guy. I mean, he's a cool guy just to get to know. Very down to earth and very humble.
And he loves us. He loves the veterans too. He loves the veterans too, and that's
very
just the appreciation he has for us is it's very overwhelming. And we all thank him for that.
Right. I want to give a shout out to Mark that's on here, Mark Palmieri. Mark has a big heart for veterans. He works with a group of guys, and they have it's a whiskey. It's called Three Rangers Whiskey. The guys that started it were U.S. Rangers. And the Three Rangers stands for Rangers Past, Present, and Future. And the guys that he works with were actually in Mogadishu.
Black Hawk Down.
Black Hawk Down. Yeah. They were Sizemore that's cutting the cast off his arm. Yeah. He works with him. He works with another gentleman by the name of Clay Othick, which Clay's name was spoken one time in the movie, and it wasn't actually, historically correct to what happened, but it's and that's Hollywood.
Oh yeah, and that's the way it is. They will distort anything and everything. I mean, just to bring in views, which is wrong, because Black Hawk Down was an amazing story by itself. It didn't need any help or anything like that. That movie is just incredible. Yeah, and I thank the guys that have been through that, with the whiskey and everything. I wish them well and everything, and I wish I could come out this year to Freedom Jam to drink it and hang out with them and talk to them. Oh yeah, that would just be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going anywhere anytime soon. We're gonna do our best not to allow them to anyway. We're just as tenacious as Rangers. I will say that. So
that's right. Rangers lead the way.
That's right. And Mark actually, he also works with the Three Rangers Foundation, which they help out, vets that are in crisis and stuff like that. And that's something I always try to push. I want to give you, just our listeners a quick heads up. Sometimes we do have vets that are watching, and I just want to say that, every day we have 22 vets that take their own life, and it's because of what they dealt with. And so we most definitely want to encourage any vet out there. If you're dealing with something in your life, reach out to Mark, reach out to Clay, to Dale. You can go to the Three Rangers website, shoot them a message, whatever you need to do. Or if you have,
they can reach out to me.
There you go. I mean,
we're brothers.
Reach out to JC as well, and it's very much it's a community. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and like Mark says right here, no man left behind. So we make sure that we always push the fact that if a veteran is dealing with issues, seek help. And if you know a vet that's dealing with issues, and this is some advice that Mark gave me one time, just talk to him.
Absolutely.
Talk to him. Get them to talk, because that will hopefully be the bridge to gap where they're at and get them back to the other side.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in, I'd rather talk to you at 3 a.m. than read your eulogy.
Exactly.
And that's just, I've had several brothers and sisters that have committed suicide, and it's a really rough thing, because, you feel like you're the last of a dying breed. And, when you come back, home and you see all the hate and everything, you kind of wonder what you're fighting for over there, because, and I'm not trying to discount anybody's service or anything like that. I'm just saying that, the world it's a mean place right now. And sometimes, I know me and my combat veterans and everything like that. We all sometimes wish we were just deployed.
Right.
Honestly, because over there you do your job and you come home. And you make some of the best friendships and brotherhoods and sisterhoods that you'd ever meet. You know what I mean? But then when you come home and you PCS out of there, those relationships are never broken. They're just,
Right.
they're not there. You know what I mean? Like, it's the way it is.
Right. And it's kind of ironic, today is Flag Day, and we're doing this on Flag Day, which is why so many of the servicemen and women such as yourself and Dale and Clay and they have fought and bled, and some have died for that flag. And so, today is just a very special day as we do this, and if you haven't figured out by now, JC actually served in the military. He served 10 years in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I always get it wrong when I try to say, I try to use Army lingo, and it's best for me just to say, what kind of work, what was your job?
I was a military policeman.
Okay.
And when we went overseas, I mean, to be completely honest with you, I thought I was going to be guarding the gate. That did not happen. We were out in ticks. Ticks are what we call firefights and scuffles outside the wire almost every day, and that's the cold hard truth.
Right.
That's why I have 4 traumatic brain injuries. I get migraines daily. We had continuous complex fire attacks where we would just be, all sides, bullets, RPGs, snipers. I mean, it was some crazy stuff. And you realize real quick, how tough you really are. That first gunfire that you received.
Right.
And I was nor tough nor big at that point in time. I was scared. And
Right.
that's the truth. And anybody who says they weren't scared, I mean, maybe they're just trying to be big and bad, but I'm gonna be honest, I was scared.
Right.
I mean,
I would say anybody that says they're not scared is probably either fooling themselves and trying to fool everybody else, or quite honestly, and I mean, maybe this isn't the thing to say, but they're already having a little bit of issue, because you can't go over there and not be scared. I mean, I just do not feel that at all.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. It really is a different world over there. Thank you to everybody who's been commenting in. I really appreciate it. And I love you guys. Thank you, Heather, Melissa, Mark, especially. Thank you so much for your kind words. Over there, it really is kill or be killed. And you don't know whether you're going to, go to sleep that night and wake up the next day. You really don't. And if you dwell on that the entire time you're there, I mean, I believe that something bad could happen, and that's what we don't want. We all want to come home. We all want to, come home and do what we have to do over here for our brothers and sisters.
Right.
Memorial Day is usually a rough time for me. I usually have a routine, a different playlist that I play. Started writing a song called "The Fallen," and I actually cried. I teared up that day, and I was like, I got to put it down, because I was just getting too into that mind frame again. And when you get into that mind frame, it's extremely scary, because you can't tell what's real and what's not.
Right.
Sometimes I hear choppers overhead. Sometimes I hear people screaming, and that's all part of having PTSD. You go over there and you do your job, but you come back with a lot more.
A lot of baggage returning home whenever you go over there. You don't bring just a duffel back with you.
No, you bring a rucksack that's on your back that is just piled with so much things, and so many things that you really couldn't think of when you were there. Because when you're in the, I don't want to cuss, when you're in the stuff and you're getting a tick, you don't stop and think, what do I do now? You act, because if you don't act, people die and bad things happen. And that was almost every day for me and my platoon. Honestly, it was a rough time for us.
Right. Mark knows this about me. I unfortunately did not get to serve. It was not by choice. I did try, but I had some severe hearing loss that was hereditary that kept me out. I tried every branch of the military. I mean, even the Marines wouldn't take me, and they'll take about anybody. So
they actually turned me down. So yeah, they turned me down. So
wow.
Told me I was too high strung. I was like, isn't that what y'all want? And
All right.
yeah. So I walked into the next office and I was like, all right, it's the Army. Let's do this. And it gave me a life. It really did. Because before the Army, I was a loser. I was a straight loser. And I mean, it sucks to have to admit that, but it's the truth. I partied so hard one time. My younger sister was in the car with me, and my mom and dad were driving, and she hadn't seen me in over a year and a half. And I was so loaded that I didn't even know she was there.
Wow. And
the next day, I woke up and my mom was like, you're a real piece of garbage. And I was like, what? And she's like, your sister came up to see her big brother, who she's like super proud of, and all you could do is get, drunk and loaded. And then she told me, you're either going to shape up or ship out. And I was like, and that's when I went to the recruiter.
Wow.
Yep. I wrote a book about it and everything. It's called The Constant Battle.
Wow. Author, musician, a veteran. We've got a couple other things that you've delved into that we're going to talk about here in a bit.
Yes, sir.
Songwriter, performer. I mean, you just got so many things, and I'm sure a lot of that is it helps you to stay busy. Like you're saying, you hear the choppers, you hear the screams, but it kind of, as much as it possibly can, it keeps you grounded, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Music more than anything. I'm also I've been working out for about 24 years now. Mm-hmm. That used to be a big therapy for me. In Afghanistan, I was putting away like 5,000 calories a day. That's all I did was eat, work out, and go out on mission. Right. But nowadays, music is my outlet. Like today, me and my wife, we had a little bit of an argument, and I went in and I wrote another song. So it's a song called "The Struggle Is Real." Right. We write about what we know and how we feel. Right. That's how music becomes music. And I'm a firm believer in telling stories. That's why I love country music so much, because we tell stories about our lives, about other people's lives, and how it's impacted us.
Right. Well, and that's one of the things, we're talking about the music. We're talking about, things that got you from point A to point B and now on to point C, because you've had what seems like, almost 3 different lives. You had the youngster where you're growing up and learning the music biz, and then you go from there and kind of the party crowd and all that stuff. And that's another life. And then you kind of get life right, or you're trying to straighten out your life. And so now you're going on to another step in your life,
Yes,
and so
absolutely.
you've so many chapters. It's like when you talk about writing a book, you're living that, you've got 5 chapters right there already written for the next one.
Absolutely. Yeah. I because I like to help people. I love to help people. And when I'm in my most vulnerable state, that's when I want to help people the most, because I've been to hell. And the first year after I got back from deployment, I was just in a tailspin. I didn't know what to do, what to think, but at the same time, you're in the military, you can't go to the wizard and be like, hey, something's up. And
right.
Because there's a stigma that follows you afterwards. And it sucks because, I took NCO of the month. That's non-commissioned officer of the month, like 4 or 5 times in a row. And, you know, I got promoted to sergeant in 2 years.
Wow.
And I was in charge of, you know, leading soldiers and stuff like that. And that was one of my favorite things to do, was to lead soldiers and to train them. I had some bad leaders. I had some awesome leaders. You know, you take the good
Right.
with the bad, but you lead by example. And
Right.
that's what I still try to do with my life. I try to help as many people as possible.
And that's so admirable to do that. I mean, you know, you learn from everybody, good or bad, because from the bad you learn what not to do, and the good you learn what to do.
Yes, sir.
And that it makes a big difference. But now you've kind of gone on, and we talked a little bit about this as far as you know, just in the past couple of years, you've gotten into doing music yourself.
Yep.
And you've been writing and performing and doing your own thing. And how has that been working out?
It's been hard to actually perform at venues because of the COVID pandemic.
Right.
So what I do is I go on my fan page and I do live videos for them, or I do small videos for them, and I just try to keep them entertained because, you know, without them, I wouldn't be who I am, because they're awesome. My fan base is extremely loyal. We're 86,000 strong.
Wow.
And I mean, I live by our saying, so don't hate, motivate.
Right.
And I live by that because, and the hashtag is team resilience, because, you know, life is all about bouncing back and being resilient. No one stays at the top forever. At one point in time, you're going to fall down, you're going to fall hard. But, you know, it's that much more victorious. You're that much more victorious when you get to the top, if there's adversity in your way. And
exactly.
Music is just, like I said, I'm retired military. I retired medically. And my wife looked at me one day, and I was playing a video game because I wasn't working that day on set. And she's like, "Is this what you're going to do?" And I was like, well, yeah, for right now. I mean, I didn't know what she was like talking about.
Little did she know, some of those gamers make a hell of a lot of money.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, what do you expect me to do? She's like, I don't know. Why don't you, you know, hang out with friends, pick up a guitar. And the next day I went out and bought a guitar. And
Wow.
I have not looked back, because there is something so rewarding about picking up a guitar and just throwing words together with some music and chords and everything, and just listening to it and knowing that it's your work and what you've done, and then collaborating with others. That's an amazing thing to do as well. I would love to be a songwriter, because I can just throw songs together, and people say that some of my lyrics are cliche. Life is cliche. Let's be real.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, there's always that small town boy who makes it big. You know, the house with the white picket fence. You know, some of us love that because it's safe. It's relaxing. It's, you know, if you've been to hell and back, you know that peace is something that, you know, you really just cherish. And there's something very peaceful about going down to like a brook or a stream, hanging out and just playing your guitar and pretending like, you know, there's, you know, 20,000 people there, just playing for them and just being you.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's all about. And, you know, my music, when I write from the heart. I write how I feel. I try to write a song on every mood that I am. I mean, I wrote a song called Girly Drinks. Because I personally, and I'm not afraid to admit this, I do like, you know, Bahama Mamas and Hurricanes and stuff like that.
Right.
I do like the little fruity drinks. But so my wife we were talking about, you know, songs on the radio that all they do is talk about whiskey, you know, and Codigo and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? My wife's like, why don't you write a song called Girly Drinks? Because my dad, he calls them girly drinks.
Right.
So yeah, and he's that guy that'll drink a Yingling and be like, yeah, this is real beer. You know what I mean? Like he's He is. That's just the way he is, and I love him to death. But
Right.
so I wrote a song called Girly Drinks, and the entire time I was writing it, I thought about Trace Adkins performing it.
Oh,
Like
wow.
how big he is, you know what I mean? It's just in his
Right.
deep voice talking about, having a Bahama mama, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's like the chorus is I want my girly drinks, I don't give a damn what you think. Keep it nice and fruity, just enough to get me loopy. Something like that. So I had fun doing it and everything. And I just, like I said, I just love to write songs. And now that I'm at the point where I can actually pick up a guitar and I can finger pick, or I can throw some chords together. I'm
Mhm.
still learning bar chords because they are hard. And
Yeah.
anybody says they're not, they are. Let's be real. But you take it day by day. No one. Eric Clapton wasn't Eric Clapton overnight. You
Right.
know what I mean? They all practice. They all like. One of my favorite guitar players is Eric Clapton.
Right.
I love Zach Brown from the Zach Brown band. His
Right.
finger picking and guitar playing is amazing. So it's just stuff like that I really just love. Arlington is his best song ever. I believe that. Yes, it is,
Yeah.
William.
Very good. Very good song. Very emotional. Very touching.
Yes. Oh my God. Every time I hear it, I cry. Oh,
Yeah. It's, of course, Trey served as well. And,
yes, he did.
I can't remember how long he was in. I don't know if it was, I don't even want to say, cause I could be wrong. I don't want to say that, but I know that he did serve. And, so he has a connection when it comes to
Hmm.
things about Arlington,
Absolutely.
and,
And the way Brantley sings about veterans, you think, you would think
oh
that he
yeah,
was a veteran himself.
right.
Because I love his song "One Hell of an Amen" because it
Mhm.
appeals to me in two different ways. I'm a combat veteran, and I've been to combat veterans funerals. I've seen the battle cross. And then back in 2019, my father was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh wow.
So, but he beat it, thank God. He
Well,
got it out of him. He's 100% cancer free, and we thank the good Lord for that every day.
hmm
But that song, like, it's like a double for me because being a combat veteran, then the second verse is about somebody having cancer, and it's like
right,
it's just it was just that song really speaks to me, and
right.
he's incredible for what he does.
I will say that one of the things that I really like about the way, I mean, and country music in general, a lot of them have that heart as far as the military. Justin Moore's got the ones that didn't make it back home.
Oh, such a beautiful song.
Yeah, that's another one. I can't
Have you ever
listen
heard
to more than
Tracy Lawrence's "If I Don't Make It Back"?
hmm Yeah, big
Wow.
Tracy Lawrence fan.
Wow. You
Yeah.
want to talk about ooh, that's a rough one for me because I actually I had a brother of mine who he passed away on June 4th, 2011. His
Mm,
Humvee was hit by an IED, and it killed him and four other soldiers.
wow.
And he was my team leader downrange, and he was the best damn combat leader ever. I mean, and I thank him every day because my first firefight, I
Mhm.
froze. I
Oh,
froze. I didn't know what to do. And, he pulled me out, and, he's like, he basically slapped me in the face. He said, "Get it together. We're in war." And that's when everything just clicked. So yeah, that
yeah.
song it really means a lot to me.
Yeah. There's and um, a lot of good stuff people are putting up. I mean, Montgomery Gentry didn't I? William also says 8th of November.
Yep. The 8th of November by Big
Yeah,
and Rich.
Big and Rich, right?
Hmm.
And a lot. I mean, it's just I just love the way. Like I said, I never had the opportunity to serve, but that doesn't mean that I don't respect or appreciate those who have any less. I've got a son
Absolutely.
he was on the front line as a police officer, and was doing SWAT training now, and then he's a nurse and an OR, and he's going to
Oh
school
my
to be a nurse practitioner. And they're raising their daughter, and she'll be 4 coming up in January, and
God bless him, man.
He works so hard, and he's on the front lines constant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Being in a hospital with COVID, and then being as a police officer, and then now he's training for SWAT, and he's worked in sheriff departments, and he's worked in city police departments, and
out there in Missouri.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy.
Most of them have been relatively small towns. He worked in Greene County, Missouri for a while, and that was Springfield, Missouri area. If you're familiar with Missouri.
Oh, I'm familiar with Missouri. I was at Fort Leonard Wood for
oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, I was there.
You know exactly where I'm talking about.
Oh yes. One of my haunts out there was we always left the post to go to a place called Big Louie's.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know Big Louie's. I do know. I've never been, but I've heard a lot of stories.
Oh, it was a wonderful time for us. It really was.
I had several friends that actually did their basic at Fort Leonard Wood.
Yep, I did basic and AIT there, and then I went back for ALC, for advanced leadership course, so I can get pinned my staff sergeant. Mm-hmm. And I mean, when I went back as a sergeant, that it was way better because I could literally watch the basic training cadet or the basic training soldiers get roughed up and just think, I've been through that. And I actually had a buddy of mine who called me down when I was there, and he was like, "Hey, come watch us, hang out with the soldiers." I was like, "All right, cool." So we came out, and he had one soldier was walking and talking on their cell phone, and you don't do that. You don't. I don't know how it is nowadays in the military, but when I was there, no, that was a big no. And I tore into the kid. I was so angry and so upset. Right. And that's when I was getting ready to drop a packet for drill sergeant because I thought, I want to lead soldiers. Right. But that's when I was PCS to Hawaii, and don't get me wrong, Hawaii is absolutely beautiful. Right. But I couldn't stand the cockroaches. I could not stand the cockroaches everywhere. No, when you flip a switch and the cockroaches scatter,
right?
I mean, oh my God, it's like living in the city again.
Yeah, can't do it. Oh man, I tell you, that's a mess. But now, so I want to share before we get too far into this. I want to make sure to share your music because, all right, like I said, you've gone through different chapters in your life. From growing up in the music family to being the one of the hip kids in the party crowd, so to speak. See what I did there with country music party crowd?
Oh yeah.
And then you went on to the military, you're getting things back in line, and now you're actually kind of coming full circle because you're going back to the music again. And yes, you just picked up guitar and actually doing this a couple of years ago. And from everything I'm seeing, I mean, I have to say a lot of comments on here. And it's like you have a very, you said you're 86,000 strong on your following.
Yes, sir.
And that says a lot for somebody that's done this for, I say the word only, but only 2 years.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. Can I tell you how I obtained the fan base initially?
Sure.
I used to be a professional fitness model.
Okay.
I used to be like, when you go into you check out those those romance novels and you see this jacked guy on the covers. Right. That was what I did.
So it was your body and Fabio's head on the front of those books. I got it now.
Yes.
I thought
exactly.
I recognized those arms.
Yes, we did that. I did that briefly for about almost 5 years. And then, then I went out to LA and tried my hand at acting and, other stuff. Right. I'll let you introduce that.
Right. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But before we get to that, Let's play some music for him because I've got a song here that's called Vibrations, and
Yes,
once
sir.
we get back from it, we're going to talk about the backstory, where it come from, and then we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, as I like to call it, which is all the fun. So.
Awesome. I'm already having a blast, brother.
So we're going to be back with JC Kurtis here in just about 2.5, 3 minutes, and talk some more. We're going to talk about Vibrations and the backstory of the song. We're going to talk about a couple of other things about him that I found out along the way that we want to share with you, but we're going to do it in a much lighthearted type of way. So stick around for that. Again, Before Nashville being brought to you by Go-Go Tuners. Now, these tuners were developed by professional musicians, and they knew what they wanted. They knew what they were looking for in a tuner. So that's what they did. And they have headstock tuners. They have pedal tuners. You can get them anywhere you can go to the website to find them. They have this green you're in, red you're out technology, or a screen where it turns green if you're in tune and it's red if you're out of tune. Very easy to read. Even if you're on a stage with no cover over it, you can still see them. The sun's not going to bleach it in. They're really cool. And it's gogotuners.com is where you need to go. So let's listen to Vibrations. This is JC Kurtis on Before Nashville, where we're bringing you the country stars of tomorrow to you, the country fans of today.
Couldn't wait to see. Yeah, you hit me like a ton of bricks. Looking in your eyes, thinking what's coming next. Oh, I felt the vibrations of your heart next to mine, making love to you and falling every time. Wanting to spend the rest of my life loving you. I knew it was love, knew what I had to do. Yeah, I felt those vibrations. After that night I went for the ring, and I hit my knee, girl, you're the one for me. Oh, I knew life wouldn't be the same. It's true, but I'm glad you came. Yeah, you hit me like a ton of bricks. Looking in your eyes, thinking what's coming next. Oh, I felt the vibration of your heart next to mine, making love to you and falling every time. Wanted to spend the rest of my life loving you. I knew it was love, knew what I had to do. Yeah, I felt those vibrations. Not too long after that, our baby was born. Now I'm a dad. Pray to God that she had felt the vibration of her heart next to mine. A baby in my arms, such a magical time. Looking back at my beautiful life with you, and thanking God for all you do. Felt those vibrations. Felt those vibrations.
All right, that's JC Kurtis, Vibrations on Before Nashville, introducing the country stars of tomorrow to the country fans of today. Okay, I got to say this, all right, because we was like, hey, what happened? Well, I had to do a wardrobe change because my studio is built in the basement. And when I built the studio, the one thing I did not realize is there is a vent, like right where right above that red panel behind me.
Right.
And when it's 95 degrees and my wife has the air up, you could hang meat down here. So I came down a while ago and I got everything set and ready to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is just really flipping cold. So I put a hoodie on and then I'm still cold because I'm an old guy. My blood's not very thick. I mean, I got to admit. And so I turned the heater on too. So I had to get up and take the hoodie off and go turn the heater off because then I was sweating because
oh, come on. You're my age. You're my age. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. we'll keep that thought. But so Vibrations, the song itself, I mean, is this one that you wrote out on the riverbank, or I mean, where did that song come from?
Honestly, a friend of mine, her name is Tisha Emberton. She is a poet and also an amazing photographer. We've been friends for a long time because I actually did a photo shoot for her. Okay. And she said to me one day, she was like, just write a song about anything. And I was like, give me a topic. And she said, okay, well, write a song about the vibrations, different vibrations. So 15 minutes later, Vibrations was born. I like stories. I like songs that tell a story. There's progression in it. You know what I mean? And Vibrations. I thought about my wife. I thought about us growing, having kids together. I thought about us, getting older together, because ultimately that's the goal, is to spend your life with somebody you absolutely love and care about. So, and when I wrote this song, I thought about something like super, super light, super low, very, very melodic, and something you could just like literally wrap yourself up in and go to sleep.
Wow.
And I know my vocals are unique because nobody sounds like me, and that's what I love about being able to be my own person and be country and Southern rock.
Right.
But yeah, this song is all about the vibrations of your life. When you have your heart flutter, when you meet that girl for the first time, then you go out on a date. You dust off the bottle and you go out on a date, and you hang out and just enjoy each other's company, and things progress after that. And it's just that. And with my wife that I have now, she's my second wife. That's how it was for us. As soon as I met her, I knew that I was going to spend the rest of my life with her.
Wow. The song itself, I mean, the melodically it's very good. And like you said, I think the progression of the story, that's what country music is. It's always the story, that's what it's
Yes,
always been about telling stories. And so it's again, like, I defer back to the thing about you writing the book. Again, different chapters where you meet for the first time and you are going on the date, and then the marriage and children and all that. It's just all this stuff is just many chapters.
Absolutely.
In a person's life, and it's really that's one of the things I love about country music, because every song is a mini chapter somehow.
Absolutely.
So I really, you can go back to Folsom Prison Blues, and it's got little mini chapters in it as well.
Yes,
the overall big picture was one thing, but he had one
of my favorite stories in a country music song is 3 Wooden Crosses by Randy Travis. Yes. I mean, that song, every time I hear it, I get goosebumps at the end when he talks about the Bible. And oh man, it's a beautiful song. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write a beautiful song And yeah, I mean, some people say it's cliche, but love is cliche. Let's be real.
Right. Right.
I mean, you meet somebody, you're attracted to them, you go out with each other, you fight a few times, and then you get married. That's
Right. Right. And then you fight a few times more, you make up, and the marriage goes on, and you're in blissful harmony again. I mean,
exactly. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't have my wife. Honestly,
is she standing close by?
No, she's in the bedroom. She's actually she is a filmmaker, so she's working on one of her films.
I just wanted to make sure that you weren't like trying to score brownie points. Just kidding.
No, not at all. Hey, babe, go in the room.
Right. You're not supposed to be out here right now. Go back.
No, but like I said, we did have a fight earlier, and I wrote a song called "The Struggle Was Real," and it's a mix of like finger picking and strumming. On the new songs that I have coming out on the road home, same. There's a song called "The Good Old Days" that I absolutely love because it's about growing up without technology. When I was 15 years old, I got my first cell phone, but I had to pay for it. My parents weren't buying it for me. And technology was just, coming to a head and everything. When we were kids, we were out playing all the time. We weren't inside the house because there was nothing to do in the house.
Right.
But
you know what I mean? And with our parents, and we didn't want to do that.
Exactly. Absolutely. And then you'd be outside playing baseball, and then when night would hit, you'd play like Ghost in the Graveyard or Manhunt or hide and seek, kickball. Right. You know what I mean? Something to stay out of your parents' way and everything. And unfortunately, that is not the case nowadays. When the lights come on, you get your ass home. That's the way it is.
Right. Exactly.
And if you don't, you had some hell to pay. That's the way it was. And I'm so glad that I grew up in that generation because, the morals are still there and everything that I learned from my parents are still there. And I respect my elders. And nowadays I feel like it's not happening.
Elders, authority of any kind. I mean,
absolutely.
Just seems to have gone by the wayside, unfortunately. So I want to move forward to a different part of the show, and I'm going to kick this one off with this, and then maybe you'll understand exactly where I'm going with it. All right?
Okay.
So this part of the show is called I Heard a Rumor, and basically it's where I find the dirt. I'm kind of like the TMZ reporter at this point, digging up everything I can. And one of the things that I heard about you, and you've spoken about some different things, but you, correct me if I misread this, you were a stuntman and a stunt car driver in Hollywood.
Yes, I was a professional stuntman, stunt performer in Los Angeles. Yes.
Wow. How did that happen?
I've been doing martial arts for about 15 years. And I figured I was actually I went to a school called the New York Film Academy in Los Angeles to be an actor. And one of my teachers, I'll never forget, his name is James Carey, and he's a really, really great man. One of the best teachers I've ever had. He asked me, he's like, with your size and build, I'm about 225 pounds, 5'9". And he asked me, he's like, with your size and build, why aren't you doing stunts? And I told him, I was like, because honestly, I don't know how to get into it. Well, he sent me some links and stuff. And, I started training. I started training with one of my sifus. His name is Jack. And he was incredible. This man taught me a lot when it comes to stunts. I'm talking falling, rolling. He prepared me for the training that I went through when I was out in Seattle, Washington.
Wow.
And the only thing he didn't prepare me for was for the stunt driving. But I was a defensive driver in the military. I was the military policeman. So you have to know how to drive a car. Well, I mean, some of us don't. Let's be real. But
regardless,
And when I left my training in Seattle, I went to Rick Seaman's racing school. And Rick Seaman is a huge name when it comes to stunt driving.
Mhm.
And he taught us all about, reverse 180s, doing different swerves in and out, 360, and, how to be very precise when you're doing a stunt, because, there is no redo if you mess it up. There's no redo.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. The insurance companies come in and they shut it down.
Right. You can only roll that car one time.
Exactly. Unless it's supposed to be rolled. But yeah, we trained in these like old school Caprices you would have seen in like Smokey and the Bandit 1 and 2. And it was just so much fun. We went out there. Oh, Frankie. Hey, brother, I hope you're doing well. We went out there and we trained, and it was the funnest school I'd ever been to. It was so much fun. And then about a month later, I met up with I was doing a bike thing for the VA, where his name is a man by the name of Tony Santoro. He's a legend in the Hollywood stunt business. This is the same man that was doing like stunt choreo for the original Batman, Adam West. And he took me under his wing. He asked me if I had any, any kind of stunt driving training, and I told him yes. And like 2 weeks later, I was working on ABC on the Rookie.
Wow.
And it was just like that. And that's Frankie. He's one of my brothers. I did what he said. I was in a thing called the Ravens in the military, where we flew with generals and diplomats and stuff to different foreign countries to keep up, to basically guard their plane and guard everything within that plane. So that's what Frankie was talking about.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've been on several missions. Some I can't talk about,
Right.
but yeah, that was fun too. But back to the stunts. And then after I worked on the Rookie, I met up with the stunt coordinator there, and I did a guest star, and I did. It's actually on season 2, episode 12 of the Rookie. There's a character named Big Death. I am Big Death.
Okay.
And I throw myself out a window, and yeah, I throw myself out the window, and we did it all in one take, which was awesome because I didn't want to do 2.
Don't blame you there.
Yeah, well, you gotta do, you know what I mean? You gotta roll a certain way, and if you don't, you're gonna mess yourself up bad. And we have pads and everything, but you're still doing the stunt.
Right.
And out in Seattle, I learned how to roll downstairs frontwards and backwards. We did a lot of wire work, and I was actually badass in the wire work. I had so much fun doing that, but I couldn't be, Chris Evans stunt double because I was twice his size.
Right.
So I enjoyed the time out there, and I worked on the Rookie. I worked on a show called The Kaminsky Method. I worked on SEAL Team. I was Russian Ops, Special Forces on that show.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that. That's like one of my favorite shows.
It's a great show, and the whole production is a wonderful production. It's just like a family. I mean, they hire former SEALs, they hire former military, and military as a whole have priority on that show. And the stunt coordinators are awesome about that. And I got the chance to be on the show, and it was super fun. It was cold. It was Northern California. It was the middle of October, and it was like cold in Northern California. I didn't think it could get that cold. But you're a military vet, you're a combat veteran, you're supposed to be tough, you know what I mean? You're not cold. Right. It's not cold. No, it was cold. Like, it was super cold.
When it's cold, I admit it, trust me. Absolutely.
And in Missouri, it could rain. It could rain one part of the day, snow, be sunny, and I mean, just it's very the weather is very hectic out there and wonderful at the same time.
Right.
But after I did SEAL Team, I did a few indie projects. I actually was a stunt coordinator for a student film. And then, yeah, I had to leave because of COVID.
Right.
But I was a regular on the Rookie season 2 and season 1.
Wow. I've watched a few of those. I'm trying to think back how far I've gotten so far.
When it comes to celebrities, Nathan Fillion is awesome. I got to have a conversation with him, and he's just a down to earth guy. I've met some celebrities that aren't so much.
Right.
But Nathan Fillion is just a really, really great guy to be around. Yeah, his energy is awesome. I remember because he was in the scene where I go through the window. It's supposed to look like he's throwing me out the window. Right. There's no way he could throw me out a window. So I just told him, I was like, look, just pretend to tase me. I'll fall back on you. And then I will throw myself out the window, and it was a beautiful, beautiful scene. I enjoyed it a lot. Because I'm playing this like big biker, I'll kill you, this and that, but I'm actually just a big old teddy bear.
Right. I'm gonna have to look that up because, like I said, SEAL Team is. You gotta ask my wife. Wednesday night, if there's a new episode of SEAL Team, I don't do anything. Nothing. For an hour.
I am the same way with Hell's Kitchen and Lego Masters. Oh, I love those shows. Brilliant things they do on that show. And then Gordon Ramsay is just incredible.
And it's that one. And let me see. Probably my two main shows are SEAL Team, and then SWAT comes on right after.
I knew you were going to say SWAT.
Yeah. So
you can't watch one and not watch the other. You can't. Right. It's just. I never got a chance to be on SWAT. I wanted to be on it, but it was very they're very selective.
Gotcha.
If they don't really know you, there's a chance they're going to pass on you because the stunts they do are highly dangerous.
Right.
And very, very well thought out. That's what people don't understand. They think stunts are just, we go in there and do it. No. They're very calculated and everything because when I was out at stunt training, the stunt world lost a stuntman on The Walking Dead. He fell on his head when he was supposed to. Yeah, and that's just rough in anything because you go to work, but you ultimately the goal is for everybody to come home.
Right.
And when I was out in Seattle, they set me on fire. They threw me off of like wooden, like scaffolding and stuff. I mean, It was just a blast. It was a blast.
Talk about a hazing.
Oh yeah, it was so much fun because we didn't know what we were getting into the next day. We really didn't, and that's the way stunts is. You get on set, you go to your stunt coordinator, and you find out what you're doing. And you could do anything from a stair fall. You could do anything from a ratchet. A ratchet is when they have like a harness on you, and this machine jacks you up, and if you fly, you go flying.
Wow!
It's like what they do in like Marvel and all those other shows, like the comic heroes and stuff like that, and superheroes.
Right.
But yeah, I just it was a wonderful, wonderful time. I met a lot of really cool people, a lot of not so cool people, but. The positives definitely outweigh the cons on that one.
Right. Yeah, it seems like where there's a good one, there's a bad one, and that's just the downside of it.
Oh yeah, you just get people that just you don't want to be around them.
Right. So let's do another little a little fun thing here. I mean I could go on talking about the TV shows and the stunting and the music and the military, and it would be a 4-hour show, and my wife would be calling me going, "You got to get in bed, But I'm having fun.
My wife's in the room right now watching Seinfeld. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never been a Seinfeld fan, but that's
very dry humor. It's very dry humor.
I think that's why I never got it, because it's too dry for me.
It's extremely dry. Oh yeah, very dry. Do you like The Office?
I think I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes. And that was it. I just couldn't. Not that I didn't. I'm trying to think of. What's the guy's name that was in the office that was in the
Steve
40?
Carell. Steve
Yes.
Carell.
I mean, I love his work in 40-year-old version. You know,
I met him.
Did you really?
And this man, oh, he was such a sweetheart. He wasn't. He was just a really cool guy. But he was catching coffee. You know, he was grabbing coffee. I didn't want to bug him or anything like that. But you know, he bumped into me, and I looked up like, yo, what? I looked over and I was like, oh my God, Steve Carell. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to run into you. Please don't hurt me. And I was, I was like, bro, I'm not going to hurt you. I'd hug you before I hurt you. I love your show. Because the reason I love that show is because when I came back from deployment, I watched that show continuously over and over again because it was my happy place.
There you go.
I could fall asleep to it and wake up to it at the same time, and you know, nothing crazy would be going on. Like my ex-wife, when I came back from deployment, she would fall asleep to like AMC, and Carrie would come on at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, what are you doing? And I would wake up to the pig blood scene. It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but you can't go wrong with The Office because it's dry humor and it's usually very funny. So it has a special place in my heart.
Well, I'll have to. Well, I don't know if I can go out on a limb. Like I said, I saw a couple. To each his own, man. I'm just going to say to each his own.
Absolutely, man. We all have our different tastes.
That's
it's all good.
If we weren't different, then the world would suck worse than it already does.
So it would be so much. It would be so boring.
It would be terrible. So let's try to liven it up with this just a little bit. What do you think?
Okay. Go. Let's do it.
So this is another little thing I like to call What the Hell. I'm just going to throw out some random questions to JC for those of you who may not understand or may not have watched the show before, I guess is the best way to put it. So I found this to be very interesting. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest?
Oh, which would be the rudest? Definitely a cat. Because cats knock random things over all the time, and it's like, you know. I would have to say the cat. Yeah.
We have two cats, and they have personalities like you would not believe.
We have two as well. We have Sergeant Fluffy Boots and Colonel Coke.
We have Lilybell and Louie. So yeah. Louie, I call him my podcat because he's actually scratching at the door right now trying to get in.
Aww.
But he jumps up.
Are they domestic short hair?
Louie is actually what they call a lilac Himalayan.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, he's longer. He's got longer hair. It's kind of a gray, white, smoke color.
Yeah, he looks like Mr. Jinx from Meet Your Parents.
Yes. Blue eyes. He's got blue eyes instead of green eyes.
Oh my God, I got to see a picture.
He is my buddy. I'll try to get him in here in a bit. What would be the worst buy one get one free sale?
Where's buy one get one free sale? Yeah, I am drawing a blank right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm drawing a blank, bud.
Frankie's got a good idea. I'll throw this one out there at you. You're gonna pop up here. Plungers.
Okay. Plungers.
Yeah. Williams got another good one here. Used underwear.
Okay, probably rotten eggs. Eggs that have expired, or milk that has expired.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, you get down to the day before and it's buy one half gallon, get one half gallon free, and you're not going to use it all anyway.
No, not at all. No.
So here's one that's kind of cool because I think it ties into your background in film and that. If you were a villain or a criminal mastermind, what would your calling card be?
My calling card. I would probably leave something behind that was camouflage.
There you go.
Yep, I'd probably leave something behind that was camouflage. Like I used to be called Sergeant Swole, and yeah, I would probably leave behind something that had to do with like the military or the army. That would be my calling card.
There you go. This one I like this because people are, well, I'm just going to ask it and we'll let them come up with their own theory.
Go for it.
If you were a Spice Girl, what would you be called?
Oh my God. Harry Spice. Harry Spice. That's who I would be called.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, pizza. Now, I'm not sure if Frankie is saying that he would be called Pizza Spice or if that's like the worst buy one, get one free. Frankie, you're going to have to clarify that for me, buddy. Let's see. Let's do one more. That one is just that's we've already talked about that one. It was the craziest thing you've done in a car. We already got that lined out. Something flying around my head. Well, have your parents told you something as an adult that they kept from you as a child?
Yes. I definitely, I heard this question on Kylie's show.
Uh-huh.
I kind of found out when I was younger, but I never clarified it until until I was an adult. The tooth fairy. When I was a kid, you leave your tooth under the pillow. You find $1 or something under there, right? Well,
right.
My mom didn't get paid till like Friday, and I got a bag of Lay's chips under my pillow. And I was like, I looked under my pillow and I found a bag of Lay's chips, and I'm like, okay, I don't think this is right. And I asked my mom about it, and she's like, hey, they just bring whatever they want sometimes, and and I finally talked to her about it. I brought it up years later, and they're like, yeah, I didn't get paid till Friday.
Wow.
So it was a funny thing because my parents never deprived us of anything. Nothing. We bought everything ourselves when we were older because they wanted us to understand the value of the dollar and how if it's yours and you worked for it, you appreciate it more.
All right.
Yeah, I got a bag of my favorite Lay's chips, which were sour cream and onion. So
there you go.
I love sour cream and onion.
So let's see. Frankie clarified a little bit for me here and said, no, okay. Pizza would be your calling card.
Yeah. I'm kind of like a Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles.
I got you.
Pizza and me. Ooh, man. But oh man, but my favorite pizza. You're probably gonna think I'm nuts when I tell you this. It's a Meat Lover's Sicilian.
Oh,
that is my favorite pizza. Because I love the thick crust. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I've never been to Chicago to actually have thick crust pizza. And William, come on now, man, come on.
That was a good one. That was too good to not put up. I mean,
that was good, man. That was good. That was good.
Sorry, William. I guess he won't be tuning back in because we reveal stuff like that all the time,
Oh yeah, William and Melissa. Melissa's been friends with me. We've been friends since we were kids. And I think she was actually one of my first kisses, to be honest with you. So don't be afraid. Don't be jealous. Okay, it happened a long time ago on the playground. But it was nothing like, check yes or no.
Right. There you go. So, I mean, right now can they find your stuff on Spotify?
They can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, YouTube. All the major music platforms can be found in my music, and the Road Home is going to be on there. It's already been submitted to all the stores that needs to be submitted to.
Okay.
And but there's several songs out there right now, and but Vibrations, Tear It Up Tonight, and The War Rages On, which is a personal favorite of mine because it's about having PTSD. Is going on the EP, as well as 2 brand new songs. One called The Good Old Days, and another one called I Don't Want to Love You Anymore. Okay. It's a ballad about what me and my ex-wife continuously put each other through, and and there was a time where we both said enough's enough.
Right. Sometimes you have to get to that point. I mean, you realize it's not going anywhere, and we just need to stop it now. So
exactly. And the wife walked in on me one day, and I was playing it, and she's like, "Are you trying to tell me something?" And I was like, "No, I'm simply just writing a song. Everything is great." But I want to be that versatile of an artist where I can write about anything. I'm writing a song right now called Redneck Beach. It's about hanging out. It's about hanging out in your lawn in a blow up floatable pool with a girly drink in your hand and a guitar near your butt. That's what it's all about. It's about comfort.
That's a great video too when you think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll have my wife film it, and I'll do all the singing and everything, and maybe Trace will jump in there and do a solo.
There you go. You can do a fight scene over the last beer at the end.
See, there you go, and I can totally choreograph it. So absolutely.
So now your social media, do you have? I didn't find a website, but honestly, today I may have done. I mean, you have to take the periods out. It was probably why I didn't find it. I think I put them in. But do you have a website right now?
I do have a website. It is not up as we speak right now. I'm just learning. It's totally built. It just hasn't been launched yet.
Okay.
It will be the official JC Kurtis, I believe .net. I have a friend of mine who actually designed the website, and he's awesome. I just got back from Nashville not too long ago from doing the entire EP, and that's right now I'm waiting to give him his pay, and then we're gonna launch it. So it's gonna be very, very, very soon. Probably the beginning of July when the EP comes out. The website will launch.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna have shows that I'm gonna be doing. It's gonna have merch. I've got a ton of photos when I was a fitness model that I need to get rid of. So I will sign them and send them out to whoever. I know Frankie will buy like 5 or 6,
right,
and give them out for Christmas stocking stuffers or something.
There you go.
But yeah, I want to do a lot of merch and stuff like that for everybody, and sign in as much as I can. So, we can get the word out there that I'm here to stay.
That's awesome. So this is your Instagram handle that I have right here. Are all the others kind of the same thing?
If
are you on?
Go ahead. If I'm on Facebook, I have a fan page, which is JC Kurtis, simply just J.C. and then space Kurtis music. JC Kurtis music is my fan page. And I had that is my link to the Instagram. I don't do Twitter yet. I've been told that I should probably jump on it, but I'm not really into the whole Twitter thing right now. I do have a TikTok. My handle at TikTok is Music Fit 2020. When I
Okay.
get on there, I review, I look at videos and I react and stuff like that. Cause a lot of the stuff out there is just stupid funny.
Right.
And sometimes when you need a quick pick me up, you throw on TikTok and somebody's doing something crazy funny. And, it's
Exactly.
just exactly. Um, but I'm also on Facebook. If you just search JC Curtis, you can find me on my, that's my personal page.
Okay.
Um, and I'll obviously accept everybody because I want to get the word out there as much as possible. I do lives on there. I do lives on my fan page. I do videos on IGTV, a lot of videos on IGTV. I did
Okay.
one today by Jason Michael Carroll called "Living Our Love Song."
Right. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, and I just love performing, and as soon as I can get out there and actually start performing, I mean, it's only going to get better from here. And I'm a true believer in this is my calling. This is my destiny.
Well, hopefully that will all transpire very soon to where you can. I mean, things are starting to look better. So I've got a lot of friends that are up in the Northeast and that are artists and they're starting to get back into doing stuff. So I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
Awesome. Awesome.
Um,
And I can't wait because I'd love to collaborate with them and everything.
oh yeah.
But I mean, one of the main reasons why I learned guitar was so I didn't have to rely on anybody. That
Right.
I would go out there and get it done. And trust me, it's been hard. It has. My fingers have bled since,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, been playing and everything, but when you can actually play a song and do chord progressions and everything, all that stuff, it's extremely rewarding.
Oh yeah.
Extremely rewarding.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing about if you know how to play the guitar, which I've had a couple of artists that said that they learned to play the guitar because they would have a show and it was going to be like an acoustic and they'd have to hire a guitar player and then the guitar player had to cancel and they couldn't find
Yep.
anybody. So the best thing to do is you just do it yourself.
Exactly. And that's why I do. I picked it up in 2013, I picked it up. And I was a squad leader at that point in time out in Hawaii. And I didn't have time because it seemed like every other weekend, one of my soldiers or somebody that knew one of my soldiers was getting popped for a DUI, getting into a fight. And when that happens, you got to drop the guitar and go and take care of what you got to take care of because the Army's not a 9 to 5. Whatever anybody says, you're there. You know what I mean? You're there 24/7. You're on call. It's the way it is. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so
well, JC, it's been, I mean, man, it's been great talking to you and it's been great to get to know you. I've really enjoyed it and just, we've had some great laughs and some fun and some serious moments and that's what makes it all worthwhile. So
I had a blast. Thank you
you
so much. Thank you so much for having me. I can't say thank you enough. I had a blast and I'm going to try to make it out to Freedom Jam to, show some support for all the other veterans and everybody out there who's, kicking butt and doing everything they have to do and for this awesome cause. Absolutely. I want to be out there to support them. And trust me, I'm trying to get my wife to, warm up to the fact because she's, with COVID and everything, but
right.
I'm pretty sure we'll be vaccinated by that point. So
it's still very hard. And so, and I will throw this out real quick since you brought that up. Freedom Jam is it's a concert series.
Yes.
That is the, I guess the charity arm. I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. I work with them as talent acquisition as well as logistics, staging and things like that. And we put this show on to help out a organization called Operation Triage. Operation Triage, you can look them up, operationtriage.org. And they are an organization that goes into, the founder is a veteran himself. They'll go into military, first responder, active military family, first responder, veteran homes, do remodeling to help them adjust back to life or adjust to something different happening in their life. They also provide, if they can, probably not right now because things are so expensive. But they will provide mortgage-free homes for, veteran families and things like that. And so we started this concert series about, it was last year, to raise money for that. I didn't start it. I actually hooked up with Brian and then he pulled me on board to where I'm in now. And so this is the way we raise money. You know, we put these concerts together it's all independent country music artists. So if you like independent country music, this is an absolute great place to be a part of. We have 2 shows this year, both in Missouri. One is in Eureka, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
The other is in Wapapello, which is just outside of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And that's kind of on the foothills between Missouri and Arkansas. It's kind of like the crossover point. Some very nice areas. And Brian may argue at this point with me, but if I say if all goes well, we'll have a couple more next year, he may not think that. He may not think if it's well, then we're not going to have 2 more, because putting on 2 of them has really been, I mean, anytime you do anything like this, it has its challenges, and we were just learning how to overcome those. But Mark and the guys from Three Rangers have come on. We have an apparel organization called Civvies that they take retired military uniforms and incorporate them into T-shirts, hats.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's, I believe it's civvies.com is actually the website for that. And I'm
going to promote you guys as much as I can as well, on my fan page. I mean, obviously I can't be out there, so I'm going to promote you guys as much as I can, because this cause is absolutely, it's heartwarming, because there are so many veterans out there that just feel lost, and they feel like nobody wants them. And that's one of the main reasons why they commit suicide.
And one of the bad things about now is things have gotten so expensive. We, Operation Triage was redoing a basement for a double Purple Heart vet, and they've had to, I don't know if they put it on hold, but the material just, I mean, it's gone up like 400%, $17,000 to do a basement.
Oh yeah. Well, the lumber, I mean, come on, the lumber is ridiculous.
There's again some flying around me here. I don't know what it is. I'm not.
We don't want to get into the politics of it all.
Yeah, no, we're not going to go down that road. But that's what we're doing it for. We're just wanting to help them, because Operation Triage is a 501c3 company, and they don't. I mean, everything they get is donations, and we've built up a massive network between builders, building supply, volunteers, folks like the great guys at Three Rangers and Civvies, and then we have several veteran small businesses that we're working with, and that's what we try to look for in Freedom Jam, to bring vets that have a small business and bring them on, let them set up and do a merch tent during this time. So it's a really cool thing. You can check out eventbrite.com, search Freedom Jam, and you can go to either St. Louis, which is Freedom Jam STL, or Freedom Jam SEMO, and it'll give you a list of the artists and everything there. And then you can buy tickets and all that stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have any, we haven't hooked up with a military transport to where we could fly a bunch of people down, because that would be awesome if we could.
That would be awesome.
But we can't.
But if I can get out there, show some support, I will absolutely do it, because
oh man, we'd love to have you.
An amazing cause, and I would just love to jam with you guys.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, if you can make it out, just bring it on. So again, coming up Thursday night, I'm going to have another b4 Nashville Live. And that'll be at 8:00. You can tune in, and then in the meantime, go listen to JC on all the streaming platforms. Check him out on his social media, and just get to know him and all the great songs that he's writing, and find out his story. And he's very accessible. I will say that he's been very accessible as far as getting back to messages and stuff like that. So if you message him, he'll get back to you. So trust me.
Absolutely. And the Road Home comes out July 1st. Pre-save is on June 24th, my 35th birthday.
Oh, awesome. Well,
So-
happy 35th to you.
Thank you
Early.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But
So-
it's been a blast. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Man, I've really enjoyed it, and I've got some things I need to talk to you with about once we get off. So we'll hang around just a minute off camera. But to everybody else, you guys have a great night. Boy, that was loud. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you back here on Thursday. It's Before Nashville.